Victoria and Frida run into Mimi, who feels unwell. She inquires about Gua, who has been missing. At the bar, Ingrid keeps pouring alcohol for Gummo, sharing a sob story about her mother before flirting. Raphael and Elena bond over their failed marriages. Max enters the bar, worried after hearing his father's voice on the earpiece. Minerva gets upset at his interruption of Ingrid and sends Cindy to remove him. However, GMO is irritated by Max and leaves quickly. Ingrid follows him, revealing she has hidden mini alcohol bottles in her clothes, taking him to an office to continue drinking. Frida sees this and rushes to inform Mimi. On the cameras, Minerva notices Mimi pursuing her husband and urges Ingrid to hurry. To slow Mimi down, Minerva halts the elevator with her inside. Desperate, Mimi pries the doors open and climbs out. Meanwhile, Ingrid plays a game with Gummo, claiming she can always tell when he's lying. She has him write his answers on a notepad while she speaks them aloud, and Minerva relays what he wrote through the earpiece to verify his words. After some silly questions, she asks for the safe combination. Gummo refuses to write it down but states the real number aloud. Just as Gummo and Ingrid are about to kiss, Mimi smashes the lock with a fire extinguisher. She rants about how he manipulated her over the years and breaks up with him. Gua returns home to find Asia watching N's videos. He snatches the phone and rushes to confront Max, ready to punch him. He accuses Max of worsening things by dredging up the past and confirms that Asia's mother deleted herself out of grief. Gummo continues to beat Max until Frida smashes a vase on his head. She sends her son away, and Asia sees him bleeding as he exits. Frida then yells at Gummo, who apologizes before they embrace. Suddenly, they kiss, revealing a 20-year affair. Now single, Frida wants a proper relationship. At the gym, Asia apologizes to Max for being caught by Gummo. Max, furious, rants that her family can't move on and expresses his hatred for her. After he leaves, Asia breaks down, finally accepting her feelings for Max. The next day, Oswaldo escapes Gummo's house and calls his phone. The fake Gummo is on the move. Oswaldo requests the 8-digit code, but Minerva panics since they only have 7. Oswaldo recognizes it as N's birthday and completes it. He retrieves the documents from the safe, and the fake GMO urges him to finalize the deal quickly, as he has another job. It turns out Minerva and Ciro have been running fake yet profitable startups, planning to sell them to Oswaldo for a good price. In the bathroom, Max steals scissors by concealing them in his pants while avoiding the camera. He then hides under sheets, attempting to cut off his bracelet but fails. Raphael returns after a night of drinking with Elena, feeling guilty. Max advises him to forget Frida and embrace this new relationship. Later, Max tells Minerva he suspects the bracelets have microphones. She doesn't confirm but states that extreme security is necessary as guests will eventually turn on each other. While talking, Max discreetly pulls a cable with his foot, causing a laptop to fall. Minerva rushes to retrieve it, allowing Max to steal a map hidden in his clothes. In the spa, Frida and Gummo discuss their school-time relationship. Frida believes she's unique among Gummo's lovers and insists on a serious relationship, leading to some playful moments. After Gummo leaves, Ingrid arrives for Frida's massage. Frida warns Ingrid about the bar incident and advises her to avoid Gummo. Meanwhile, Mimi, feeling very ill, wanders the bunker, takes the elevator to the dome, and collapses. Moments later, she wakes up in worse pain but continues on. Feeling overheated, Mimi removes some clothing before heading to a glass door. She manages to open it and enters the control room. Mimi watches cartoons on the screens and then collapses. The team spots her on the cameras and rushes to bring her to the infirmary. Asia is called to assist, but she admits her training is insufficient for a diagnosis. Minerva suggests Roxanne can help. Mimi just needs to compile her symptoms and vitals. Roxanne reviews the data and a blood sample, concluding that Mimi has kidney failure, necessitating a dialysis machine. The bunker lacks one, so Roxanne proposes alternatives like a special diet and medication, though recovery chances are slim. Mimi requests Asia to prevent Gummo from visiting her, as the stress is overwhelming. Later, when Gummo arrives, Asia denies him entry but reveals that Mimi could die in 72 hours if the alternative treatment fails. Guillermo then heads to the bar for a drink, apologizing to Max while explaining Mimi's situation. Max vows to help and rushes to find Asia. He pulls her into the bathroom, witnessed by Ju. Inside a stall, Max uses cards to communicate with Asia, instructing her to play along due to being watched. Jocko eavesdrops, but Max discusses their relationship while the real conversation occurs via cards. He informs Asia about locating a hospital on the map and asking Minerva to send a team for a dialysis machine, but she refused to allow anyone to leave. Now, Max intends to go out himself. Asia wants to object, but Max reminds her to maintain the act. Instead, she confesses her feelings for him. Max then explains with more cards that he spoke to GMO and wants to do this to atone for his actions towards, and he needs her help. Max kisses his hand to mimic a kiss before revealing his plan cards. He aims to disable the security system, which requires disconnecting Roxanne from the bunker since she has full visibility. They will pretend to be in a relationship to spend late nights together in their rooms. After leaving the bathroom, they share a sweet moment for the cameras, making Jocko very jealous. Later, Asia checks on Mimi and finds Victoria there. Victoria offers to take Mimi to her apartment for her nurse to care for her. Mimi likes this plan, so they move her. Once alone, Victoria shares a cigarette with Mimi and gives her a medicine patch. They both indulge and enjoy the experience. When Mimi feels pain again, Victoria requests a stronger dose from her nurse. Eventually, things get steamy between them. Meanwhile, Oswaldo calls Gummo's phone, and the digital assistant answers. Oswaldo is concerned about the strange companies GMO wants him to invest in and suggests slowing down. Fake Gurmo insists on being reckless and persuades Oswaldo to continue buying. Max returns to his room and asks Raphael not to question Asia's visit later. Touched by this trust, Raphael confesses he testified against his son due to Guimo's threat to kill Max. He explains to an upset Max that he remained friends with Gummo because he couldn't blame a father for such actions after losing a child. Max finally forgives Raphael for sending him to jail. Afterward, Raphael seeks out Elena and kisses her, ready to start anew. At the gym, Gummo and Frida play basketball while revisiting their relationship discussions. Gummo states he doesn't want a serious relationship with her, prioritizing his daughter and friendship with Raphael. Frida kisses him, declaring this will be their last meeting unless he changes his mind. Later, Gummo speaks with Raphael, revealing that after his wife's death, the police returned her purse, which he hesitated to open until weeks later. When he charged her phone, he found that Raphael was the last person she called before her death. Gummo seeks an explanation. Raphael clarifies she called to express she held no resentment towards him or Max. In Max's room, he and Asia cover Roxanne's camera with a jacket and attach speakers to their bracelets with surgical tape to prevent eavesdropping. They agree to collaborate on escaping the bunker, and Asia seizes the moment to apologize to Max for her behavior. Max mentions he discovered a hidden emergency exit sign in the bunker, indicating a staircase in the ceiling. Asia claims she can create a bomb for distraction. They first need to disconnect Roxanne, so Max plans to drill through a wall and cut several cables. He leaves to explore, telling Asia she can remain in his room. Asia chooses one of Max's shirts and lies on his bed, inhaling the scent of his pillow. Overcome with excitement, she becomes playful. Simultaneously, Frida flirts with Jocko in view of Gummo to provoke jealousy. Meanwhile, Oswaldo arrives at the fake company's office and soon calls Gummo to inform him that an offer has already been made for the company, a ploy by Minerva to inflate the price. When Max returns, he brings gym equipment and cutlery. He and Asia act like they're showering together and play music on the speakers before they start breaking the wall with tools. Fake Gurmo is about to tell Oswaldo to buy the company, but Max cuts some cables in the wall, shutting down the system and ending the call. Oswaldo sees the name Roxanne on his phone and tries to call Gummo, but it goes to voicemail, prompting him to leave. Minerva and Ciro hurry to reset Roxanne while Asia times it, and Max covers the wall hole. Roxanne activates just in time to call Oswaldo, and fake GMO persuades him to stay another night. Oswaldo heads to a hotel reserved by fake Gummo, meaning Minerva has a camera there. They text him to keep him awake and get him a restaurant reservation too. Meanwhile, Max distracts Jocko in the security office to allow Asia to steal 2 earpieces. Jocko confesses to being naughty with Frida, and Max pushes him against the wall, but Asia convinces him to leave. Later, Max checks on his mother, who reveals she didn't visit him in jail because Gummo is her true love, and she couldn't face the man who hurt him. An angry Max calls her selfish before leaving. Asia is stealing from the infirmary when Max finds her and asks for a hug during his breakdown. They go to Max's room, resting under the covers, sharing their family troubles and desire for a fresh start. Max decides to tell Raphael about Frida and Gummo, leaving him speechless. Next, Max takes off their bracelets while pretending they're being naughty. Jocko informs Minerva, but she thinks it's fine if it was just for fun. GMO checks on Mimi and finds her in Victoria's arms. Mimi is uninterested in talking to him, while Victoria mocks him, prompting Gummo to leave. He finds Raphael and starts venting about the issue, but Raphael interrupts to ask for a favor. He wants Gummo to persuade Frida to take him back. Gwar agrees, unaware it's a trap. He drags Frida to the bathroom, attempting to punish her for misbehavior, but she headbutts him. She declares she no longer submits to him and takes control of their naughty time. After forcing Gummo to his knees, Frida opens the door to find Raphael waiting. He admits he lied about the phone call. Gummo's wife contacted him after discovering his affairs, wanting to know if he loved her. Raphael said no, and Gummo now blames him for her death. However, Raphael points out she was on 4 different medications for depression, making Gummo solely responsible for her demise. Meanwhile, Waldo visits a restaurant and sees Ingrid crying at a table with an actress posing as her mother. He follows her to the balcony to offer comfort. Ingrid invites him to a club, where another staff member spikes Oswaldo's drink and plays his favorite songs to keep him partying. Eventually, Oswaldo and Ingrid head to his hotel room, but just as they are about to get intimate, Ingrid receives an urgent call and leaves. Oswaldo tries to sleep but is disturbed by a call from fake GMO, who instructs him to rush to the company and buy it at any cost. Oswaldo returns to the office, where the air conditioning is broken. The heat, exhaustion, and hangover lead him to hastily purchase the company for 900 million euros just to go home. In the bunker, Asia intentionally blocks the sink and calls maintenance. When Tarso arrives, Max captures him from behind, and Asia sedates him with an injection. She dons Tarso's uniform and carries him in his cart. Using his fingertips, Asia accesses the maintenance room and steals supplies for the bomb. Moments later, Max and Asia cut the cables again, shutting down Roxanne. They rush to install the bomb in the storeroom and fill the corridors with smoke from extinguishers. Soon, the bomb explodes, plunging the bunker into darkness. Amid the confusion, Max opens the emergency stairs, and Asia gives him medicine to shield him from radiation. They each put on an earpiece and say goodbye before he ascends. Asia closes the stairs before the Roxanne timer expires. She reconnects the cables, covering her tracks just before Roxanne reactivates. Jocko enters and finds Tio's hat, noticing Asia and Tio on the bed. Assuming the worst, he draws a gun and forces Asia to follow him. At the airport, Oswaldo boards a plane home and sees a billboard of the actress who played Ingrid's mom. Worried, he checks Ingrid's fake social media, but the page vanishes. Searching for the bar yields no results. Remembering documents in GMO's safe labeled Kamar, he searches but finds nothing. Realizing he's been manipulated, Oswaldo orders the plane to turn back. He rushes to the new company's office, only to find it empty. He calls Gummo to report everything and inquire about Kamar, also asking for Gummo's college nickname. Roxanne can't answer, prompting Oswaldo to threaten calling the police before hanging up. On the street, he tries to call the cops, but Ingrid suddenly pushes him, and Luca catches him, breaking his neck before dumping him in front of a truck. Luca takes Oswaldo's phone and departs, making the death appear accidental. Victoria hears the alarm and attempts to wake Mimi, but fails. The main computer detects no vitals from Mimi's bracelet, prompting Minerva to fetch Asia, interrupting Jocko's questioning. Asia sees the medicine patches and alcohol sent on Mimi and scolds everyone for neglecting her. She does her utmost to revive Mimi, but it's too late. Mimi is gone. At the bunker reception, Max surprises the receptionist and sedates her with an injection. He uses her hand to unlock every door in his path. Minerva spots him on the cameras and sends Jocko after him. After Max dons a hazmat suit, he prepares to leave, but Asia contacts him via earpiece. She informs him of Mimi's death, indicating a hospital visit is unnecessary. Still, Max insists on leaving to take control of his life. Asia confesses her feelings to deter him, but Max only vows to return for her if he survives. The final door opens, and Max enters the elevator just as Ju catches up. Ju fires, shattering the glass, but the elevator ascends, allowing Max to finally escape to the outside.